welcome to another episode of How to Make Your Wedding Not Suck. I am here today with Anne from the Gables at Chadds Ford. It's the venue that we're filming in right now. Anne, you've been so generous enough to open up your facility to us today, so thank you for that.
Yes. You're welcome.
Great to have you here. And then we wrangled you up and threw you on a couch and
I'm here.
Forced you to be on film. So Anne and I go way back. I think we met years ago at a very interesting wedding, and we've kind of bonded since then.
I think so. It would be hard not to. It
would be hard
after that experience.
Yeah, but that actually is a great transition to my first question for you, because sometimes there's too many people and not everyone can be right sometimes, right?
Yes.
So during the wedding planning, what's sort of one of the biggest mistakes that you've seen people make as they kind of plan out their wedding?
There are a few. I think one thing is when you have too many people helping you plan, too many opinions, too many people that, want to pick this or think you should do that or do that. It makes it hard for you to then do what you want to do.
Right.
You feel bad. You feel like you're going to let people down, and it's great to have opinions because other people may have experience where you don't have experience, but you have to remember that it's your wedding and you have to do what you want ultimately. So be careful with how many people, don't bring the whole family to the tasting, because we've firsthand seen that can turn into a disaster.
Yeah, because inevitably somebody's going to get
somebody doesn't like that, or somebody thinks you should have that.
Right.
And then, originally you wanted this, and then when you had to say no to those people that's not what you're getting, feelings can get hurt, and it can just turn into a nightmare.
Yeah, that's great advice, because I think I've seen this firsthand where you got to just accept somebody's going to get offended. You're dealing with a party for, 100-something people. Sometimes more, and there's going to be someone that thinks that it's about them, and that you should have accommodated their, specific wishes, and so I think that's a good suggestion to have a little bit of a thick skin sometimes, especially if people are giving you their opinions and you maybe didn't even ask for them. That might be sort of a red
And just remember, it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's all about you're getting married.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads into the next thing where our venue, we have an outdoor ceremony area where we also do cocktail hours. It rains. It's going to rain. So you better have a rain plan.
Yeah.
And brides just don't want to accept that sometimes.
So you see people coming in thinking, convinced that the probability of rain is less than it's historically been.
So go into the whole wedding process, remembering that not everything's going to go the way you originally pictured it your whole life.
Right.
So be prepared to make changes. And if you're going to book a place that has an outdoor venue, then you better be ready to have it rain.
Right. That's the truth.
Yes.
If you do book a venue that's the only time that you would like it is if it's perfect sunny weather, that's a really risky move to take. So you got to be okay with, I think.
Yes.
If it's inside or under tent or whatever,
exactly,
that you have a backup plan that you would be okay with, right?
Yes, and trust the venue that we've done it before. It's hard for you to picture it, even if we show you pictures. It's hard for you to picture it, but it's going to be beautiful no matter what.
Right.
And we have things. We have trees that we can put at the poles of tents and whatnot. But since we've been telling people more and more, really be prepared for that. Other people, the brides will go out and get stuff and be prepared and get ready to make a tent pretty if they have to. And you're going to find that it's going to be fabulous, and you're going to end up getting married no matter what. Yeah. And it's going to be great either way.
Yeah, I think if you're okay with the outcome of the wedding, meaning you wind up married to this person, all the other things kind of, they're put in perspective. So
that's a good way to put it, because it's one day.
Right.
Then you got to go ahead and be married for the rest of your life. So and there's going to be a lot of things that you don't expect then. So just better start on your wedding day with being ready to switch things up.
That's a good point. Now, from the owner of a venue's perspective, when you tell a bride and groom that our capacity is, well, let's use this room for example, 140 people.
Yes.
That's the max capacity.
It is.
What does that number mean, and what does that not mean? I think people misinterpret what that means sometimes.
So we'll tell people we can do 140 people for a seated meal with a dance floor. So that seated meal is important in that phrase, because then, well, if you want buffet or you want stations, those tables that we do the buffet and stations take room. So that's going to decrease the number of guests that you can have. But again, be flexible. We have a wedding coming up this summer, and we're having 140 plus end stations, but we said you have to have the tents,
Right.
no matter what. And then again, we'll do some of the seating outside or some of the stations outside, but let us, give you that advice from our experience and actually being in the midst of it. We've pulled some things off that, we didn't think we could pull off, but it's just much better to stay within those boundaries for the comfort of your guests.
Right.
A lot of it, you don't want people, sitting on other people's laps and having to bump each other trying to get through to the buffet.
I guess it depends on the kind of party you're trying to host. So you might want people sitting on people's
Well, Dan, that's what we experienced when we met, and we don't want some of those people always sitting at the same table or close to each other.
So I guess the bottom line there is that max capacity is max capacity, not necessarily ideal capacity, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We always want to try to be flexible, and I always tell people the only things we've said no to are fireworks, and someone wanted to have a BB gun range in the ceremony area.
Range.
They went somewhere else, which that was okay.
That's okay.
But really, we'll try to do, we had fire spinners, we had someone light a pumpkin on fire.
Oh, that sounds
yeah, I mean, it was, the insurance company was fine with it, and it was contained, but it was this tradition, it was a Halloween wedding, it was a tradition that they've done since college, and I was like, I'm going to try to figure out how to do this for them.
Yeah.
So if we can do it, and as long as it's legal,
right,
and as long as you're willing to spend the money for whatever it's going to take, we'll try to do it. And that's because we like to make people's weddings their own and different. I don't want it to be just a cookie cutter. Everyone's wedding looks and feels the same.
Now, there's two things that stuck out to me about something you just said, which is if you have a venue that sort of comes looking pretty as it is, versus say a hotel ballroom, which is meant to be somewhat sterile because it could be used for very bland corporate meetings, but it's a blank canvas. So what are some considerations for brides that are booking at a venue where there isn't a default of just beautiful backdrop? I mean, there's costs associated with that, right? They have to, whereas a venue like this, they walk in and it's gorgeous as it is. They don't have to do anything to it, but in a new location, I would imagine they have to spend money on flowers.
Well, then I would say, when you go to venues, make sure they have vendors that they work with, that they're familiar with. I think anywhere, including this place, you want to work with people that are familiar with the space, that are going to give you ideas that you may not be able to visualize in that space, and can really guide you, in that aspect. When it may not just be the, events coordinator at that place, it may be like you. I'll recommend you for weddings here because that there's a million different little areas where people can take pictures that a bride would, I have no idea sometimes how you make pictures look like they look when I know where you took it, in the field back behind the parking lot, and they look fabulous. But yeah, go with those recommendations if you don't, feel comfortable that you can visualize that and see that on your own.
Right. So a venue like this, I think one of my favorite parts about it is that it really gives clients a great experience because they can have everything in one spot. They have a bridal suite to get ready in. It's right next door, but it's somewhat separate. So while they're getting ready and people are arriving, they have a spot that they can be, they're comfortable. They're indoors. We did one in the summer and it was hot and it was nice and air conditioned in there, and there was their little oasis.
Yeah.
And then the ceremony is right outside, and then the cocktail hour is right there, and receptions, everything's right there. So that's got to be one of the biggest benefits.
It's really appealing to people. It's a big day. There's a lot going on. You spend a lot of time doing so many things. It's nice to come in the morning and then drop all your junk and get, hunkered down, and you can get your hair done, your makeup, you can eat, you can have some mimosas if you want.
Mimosas is
yes.
the best.
it's really nice, and it's nice for the guests also. They're coming to one spot for the whole thing, so they don't have to worry about sometimes that awkward in between ceremony and reception, and having to find the place or find something to do during that time.
Yeah,
so everything's right here, and it is. We built the bridal suite, and once we did that, I mean, people just, you could tell how much they loved that and appreciated it.
Now, it sounds like you also have a relationship with some nearby hotels that have shuttles and stuff.
Yes.
So it's a really it's a pretty streamlined.
Yes.
sort
And that's
of
another
flow.
thing I'll highly recommend. There's a couple hotels that they're great with helping set up the shuttle service.
Okay.
And again, that makes it seamless.
Yeah.
They bring them here, everything's here, then they take them back.
right back,
And that's just a lot off of people's plates that they don't have to
Yeah.
worry about.
That's a great thing that I think a lot of people should be looking for when they find
Yes.
a venue. Now, tell me a little bit about when a bride and groom are shopping for a venue and they're interacting with, whoever their contact is at that venue. What are some things that you'd say really stand out as just being really important when you're dealing with that person? Not even venue specific, just the person that you're going to be dealing with in your planning process.
Make sure you're comfortable with them. Make sure you're comfortable asking them questions. Make sure you're comfortable with their answers. We have a lot of brides here and a lot of just people in general that we work with, but we try to make it personalized and give you that personalized attention. And a lot of people have appreciated that. And it's good to build a relationship with them and feel very comfortable. But then you also have to remember that we have a lot of other events going on. And the last thing we want to do is ever make someone feel like, that we have a lot of things going on and that they don't matter.
Yeah.
So Kelly, our events coordinator, one thing that she has told me is really convenient is when people gather questions and send her one email, in the whole planning process in general, don't send an email a day. You think of a question and say, oh, I'm just going to email Kelly real quick.
Send them as a batch and sort of collect your questions. And
collect them all and get it all done at once.
That's good.
Think of that question, write it down,
Yeah.
but then give her an email altogether, because then she spends a good amount of time focused on your event for her.
I think that's important on not just with venues, but with any wedding vendor where you're sort of working with, trying to make things as easy for everybody as possible. So
Yes.
And now I think the thing that makes a venue a little bit different is that it's a physical location, and you're choosing that venue because it's a place. It's not a service or a product that gets shipped or something. It's a physical space, and all the services happen right there. So you're probably dealing with appointments and visits and stuff. And so how much preparation do you look for with, what can a bride and groom do to make your job as easy as possible with?
Make sure you make an appointment.
Make an appointment.
Make an appointment.
Yeah.
We dedicate that time to you and your event and all of your details. And if you make an appointment, it's just much easier.
Yeah.
Much easier.
Well,
Makes everyone happier.
It
too.
helps you serve them better.
It does,
knowing
yes.
Because you can be prepared if they did send you questions and you're going to be addressing those things.
Yeah.
You can come with the answers ready to go.
Yeah.
You're not fumbling to find their information or remember things like that. So that's good.
Yeah.
And I'll bet that gets tough because you do, upwards of close to 100 weddings a year now. I
We're
mean,
getting to that point.
You're
Yeah.
busy, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a key point. Now, with that many weddings, inevitably, the best venues, they're going to be booked. They're going to be packed out for the year. So you mentioned flexibility and how being kind of open-minded to
Yes.
Maybe taking that initial vision and making some changes that are not critical components to make that more possible. So any suggestions as an owner of a venue, what can brides do to still have their dream wedding that they wanted and at the place that they wanted, but have it maybe fit with their budget better or fit into the year if they don't have that much time left before the wedding?
There's off-peak months where what we do is we discount our room rate.
Okay.
And that's what is discounted. So we discount it for off-peak months, and then a Saturday evening wedding, and the scale is the same for off-peak months and on-peak months. So I'll say more that, you have a room rate for a Saturday night, and then a Friday night is less than that, and then a Sunday is even far less than that. So people aren't just having Saturday night weddings anymore. They'll do Fridays, or they'll do one in February because it's less expensive.
Right.
If you're stuck on a Saturday, then have it in a, December, January, or February, which is less expensive.
Those are the off-peak months considered December, January, February.
Yeah.
And then what are the busiest sort of
May, June, September, October.
May, June, September, October.
Those are the first ones
spring
that,
and fall,
really book up.
Okay.
And actually March, we consider March an off-peak month.
Okay.
And that's gotten busier, but I'm going to keep that an off-peak month
Right. Okay.
just to give people a little extra incentive. But then now people go to a Friday night, or a really popular thing is Sunday brunch weddings. And I think you shot a Sunday brunch wedding.
I did. And
with one of the most fun couples ever.
Cool. It was so
People
cool.
partied like it was a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Like there was no worry about
It was amazing.
not,
It was
not
great.
having a good time.
And I remember they were very cautious with their budget and balancing everything, but they still wanted to provide a great experience for their guests. They still wanted it here. They knew they wanted it here.
Yeah.
And they were able to host a fantastic day. They had the space. They made the most of this space, I think, too.
Yeah.
That was important.
Well, and the thing with saving the money on the room rental is you still get the great quality food. You still get the great atmosphere, the bridal suite, the ceremony space. You get everything. Nothing is different except for the price of the room rental.
Yeah.
So you're going to get the same experience that someone on a Saturday evening is going to get.
Yeah.
So that has been really appealing, and that is one of the things that has increased our weddings so much, is that people see that savings and, either take it and then spend it on something during the wedding on that Sunday morning, or take it and put it towards a house or towards a honeymoon.
Yeah.
There's all different things that people can use it for.
So one last thing, Ann, before we close out, you're not just a wedding venue, right? Like downstairs, we actually did a film on your website
Yes,
for this.
we did.
That kind of highlighted the bar and the restaurant, which is really cool. So tell me more about.
People should check that out from Dazzle Photography.
They should
awesome
check out
video
the film.
on the Gables
It's on the website, gables@chadsford.com. But yeah, we had a fun time filming that. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
But what kind of this is unlike an atmosphere that I've seen at other places. There's a ton of sports bars, and then there's these really fancy places that you have to get dressed out. It's very stiff. What is it about this place that you really aim to create an experience for people?
I want people to have, we consider ourselves a fine dining restaurant, but sometimes that word can be a little bit scary. So this is practically like my home. I'm here all the time, so I want people to feel comfortable here and come. And the same with the weddings up here. I want people to make their events their own. I want people to be comfortable downstairs. So it's a neat space. We're in a late 1800s dairy barn that was converted. So up here, it's high ceilings. Downstairs, you got the brick. And then we have a really cool bar with a copper top. We have great happy hour with a cool beer list, wine list, bourbon and scotch. We have a great Sunday brunch, which everyone has really loved. And great dinner. And Dave is our chef, and he loves to use local farms and lots of local ingredients and support other local businesses. So he's done a great job incorporating all of that. And people can feel that. They know.
Yeah.
We make sure to give them all those farms the credit, but it's over the years we've created relationships with a lot of these places, and it's just much more fun to work with nice local people than big, huge companies like Len Brown.
Brown, the text guy. Yeah, I know. I've come here for just the happy hours and for food sometimes, and it's just been a great experience because I feel like a lot of bars you come in and it's very product based, and it's just we're here to feed you and give you drink, and then you go on your way.
Yeah.
And I felt like coming here, even without you personally being here, it's just a cool place to hang out. It's sort of got an underdog feel to it, where it's just it's such a cool vibe, where it's old and classic, but yet modern at the same time.
Yeah.
And the people that you have on your staff, they're just so welcoming. They really, they take that personal way that you treat your clients.
Yes.
And they do the same thing.
And over the years, I've tried to find, tried to instill that
Yeah.
in them is, this isn't stuffy. Again, we're not saving lives. This is food.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
food and drinking, and it should be fun
Yeah.
and relaxed. But you also have to adapt. If someone's having a formal meal, then, you adapt to that.
Right.
But for the most part, I want people to be comfortable
Yeah.
and enjoy it and relax and enjoy the food.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job at it.
Thank you.
I know I've seen it firsthand. It's been such a fun time, and it's a kind of place I'd be proud to take people to come here and
Thank you.
show them a great time.
I'm proud to recommend you too.
Oh, thanks,
I'm going
Ann.
to get married again. I'm going to renew my vows, and you're going to be my photographer.
I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to do it. It's going to work out great. Well, thank you again for letting us use your space.
Thank you.
And
No, this was fun.
this was awesome. So thank you for tuning in. We have a whole bunch more information, like we said, on the website. Go to the Gables at chadsford.com. Check out our film and learn more about how you can have a great time here. And be sure to check out our complete gallery of tips on how to make your wedding not suck at dazzlephotography.com/tips. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.